scrub fast. Before you know it, you're out of the newborn stage, you're out of the infant stage, and then you are now in toddlerdom, if that's even a thing. And looking back, these are the toddler habits I wish I had trained. I'm pretty sure there's so many really good ones out there, and honestly, I'm not a parenting or motherhood or anything expert. I'm just sharing what what is making life stressful right now or difficult, in the hopes that if you're behind me in motherhood, you can glean some of this and avoid some of the mistakes I made. And also, if you are currently with toddlers, I have one toddler, if you're currently in the toddler season, then you can think about these things and what they potentially could become, and then decide if you want to let them go or if you want to train them. And then if your kids are older, you can adjust, you can adjust some of these things. Anyway, so today I'm going to share 3 of the biggest things that I'm recognizing I should have trained early, and also that I'm now training. So the first one is come here. My goodness. this is such an important one, because obviously it's a safety thing. You want your child to hear their name and come to you, and know that they should come to you. Now, for me, both my children are very independent. So the type of babies or kids that they're not really snuggling with mom, they're not really super attached to mom, they'll rather just run off. And as a mom, you can just let that go, right? It's nice because they're not always on you, they're not all over you, they're giving you space, they are doing their own things, really. They're just being independent for the most part. So you can think, oh, it's fine. And then when you call them when they're 18 months and they ignore you, you don't think much of it. But before you know it, they're 2 and they're running around, and you call them and they don't come. Maybe there is danger, maybe they're running towards a road and you call them, they don't come. Now it's a huge safety issue, right? So that's a problem. Or you see a big puddle, you're going somewhere where you don't want you're going to a place where you don't want to arrive with kids with wet tennis shoes. And you see a puddle and you call them and they don't come. So that's also a problem now, because you have to go back home and change them, especially if it's winter. You don't want them to go somewhere with wet shoes. So yeah, right now I am training come here with my almost 3-year-old, and I wish I did that much earlier. It's so much harder. I think it's easier when they're tinier and you just don't give them an option when they're forming their sense of the world, and you don't give them the option of not listening to you. And I wish I did it then. The second habit with toddlers is pretty much like the first one, but it's slightly different. It's holding hands. Independent children like to run ahead. They don't want to hold your hand. And in the beginning, for me at least, I didn't think much of it. And then now I realize that when we're out and about, I really need to be holding their hands, because one, if you take them somewhere with a lot of people, that becomes problematic if they're not used to holding your hand, or are not the type that like to hold hands, so you don't train them. And I recently went to the fair and there were lots of people there, and it was hard. It was really hard trying to figure it out, trying to hold someone's hand who doesn't like their hand held and just wants to run off. So that was difficult, and I wish I trained that much earlier. But now my third toddler thing, I think this is the biggest thing in toddler life to train, and because it has just huge implications later. And I think the first 2 that I shared are connected to my third hill that I would die on. And this is not a principle that originates with me. This is something I've heard from multiple people before, so it's not my thing. Basically, it is to teach your toddler very early on to say and to understand and to obey you right away, all the way, and with a good attitude. I think if you can just treat them, if you can just teach them that, you will be way less stressed in life, because if you teach them that, it will simplify so much of life. It's not to say you won't have to discipline or train habits and all that, because that's just part of raising children. You're always training them, but it will simplify decision making. Did they do what I said? They obeyed right away, but they came. Yeah. They came, like you called them, but they had a terrible attitude. You could tell on their face. So that's not listening to you. That's not obedience. As a Christian, you know that the Bible says in Ephesians 6 that children should obey their parents in the Lord. So you know that they should obey. It has to be right away. It has to be all the way. And if you obey with a bad attitude, you haven't obeyed. So if you delay, you are not obeying. If you have bad attitude, you're not obeying. Like, you should obey with a good attitude, because this is also how we hope, right, as Christian moms or Christian parents, that this is how they're going to obey God eventually, right? You hope that they're going to put their faith in Jesus Christ, and they're going to be reading the word, and they need to obey the word right away, all the way, and with a good attitude, or cheerfully, or willingly. These are the things that I am training my children in. And let me know, what are you training your toddler in? Or what, if you're ahead of me, what is something that you wish you trained your toddler in, so I can learn from you? Thank you for watching.